it's like you're complaining all the time. It's like you're dealing with somebody who's never been where you're at, who's never really started to understand your true feeling because they've never either been married or divorced. So then they don't really know how to help all the time. They're not really sure what is the best way to help my friend in this situation, who literally is just expressing his emotions with no chill. Have you ever felt like when you share with somebody that you finally have opened up with your feelings, your issues, your problems, like it just seems like they just don't care anymore? Like you shared a lot and then now it seems like they kind of tune you out after a while. Well, if that is you, I can understand. I've felt that way before too, but I start to understand why that happens. So we're going to talk about that today. But what I want you to do is to like, comment, subscribe as we go along this video. If you hear something that resonates with you, comment. If you agree with what I'm saying, like it. If you want to see more content, subscribe to it. All those things are helpful for us to continue to build the community. But the reason I say that is because when we share our feelings with people that we trust, it already was hard for you as an individual yourself to tell your best friend or your mom or your dad, whatever the case it is, how you're really feeling about your divorce. And I speak about divorce because this has been really hard for men. You know, you go through a divorce and you're not really sure like what to say because you know you're a little confused. It's a little heartbreaking, a little devastating, but it didn't really start hitting you until after the divorce was over. And then now you're like, dang, like I don't even know what to do. I don't know who to speak to. Not really sure like what the next step is from here. Well, good part is that I'm gonna share with you the reason why people tend to tune you out when you do share, and what you can do to fix that. But if you've ever been in this position, I feel you. I remember when I went through my divorce, it was really hard because like I didn't have anyone that I felt like I could really open up to 100%. Like, yeah, they knew I got divorced and divorced in one of the worst ways possible, meaning like being cheated on and by your best friend, with your best friend, my wife and my best friend. Like, come on, are you serious? And then having to like talk about that with somebody that you trust, not just the fact of the divorce itself, but like everything that you're feeling, all of those raw emotions. I was completely distraught. I was like completely just torn up in my head, not really knowing where my life was going to go after that. I wasn't sure like what I do now. All of the time that I've had in my life was with my ex. I spent almost every minute with this person and now that's gone. So it's like, how do you fill that time and to be able to move forward from there? Well, I had to start talking to somebody. So luckily there was a couple in my life that had always been there for me. They were like my second mom and dad. And when they found out what was going on, they reached out to me often, but I still didn't really feel like I could tell them how I was really feeling. They knew I was devastated. They knew I had really experienced a lot in my life, and they were close to my ex and my best friend at the time. So it was it was hard for them as well to know what happened, but they did everything they could to be there for me. So the easiest way for me at that time was I had a close friend in my life. His name was Justin, and he was like my ride or die homie. He made me laugh when he never knew how helpful that was. But we were out drinking, smoking, partying like every single day, going to the bars. And during those times, I was sharing my feelings with him, you know, like what I was really dealing with. And he was doing everything he could to be a friend to me, um, to help me through that difficult time in my life. And after a while, I know it started to kind of weigh heavy, you know, because it's like you're complaining all the time. It's like you're dealing with somebody who's never been where you're at, who's never really started to understand your true feeling because they've never either been married or divorced. So then they don't really know how to help all the time. They're not really sure what is the best way to help my friend in this situation who literally is just expressing his emotions with no chill, you know? So this is the part where I say this is where it can get a little hard for the friend because they don't know what to say. So if you've ever been in a place where you're sharing your feelings and your heart with someone who you trust very deeply, but it seems as if like that it's like, man, I wish you would like lighten up a little bit. Now they're getting a little bit short as far as how they communicate with you. They don't respond and give as much advice. It's probably because they have felt that they've shared these things with you more than once, right? They have shared with you what they believe should be done, what you could try, and yet most likely you still haven't tried those things that they have given you as an opportunity to try. Now, when I was with my friend Justin at the time, the information he was giving me, you know, he did his best, but it wasn't. He also didn't go to church the way I went to church, so it didn't really make a lot of sense, right? So from there, it was like, well, who can I speak to that's going to really understand who I am as an individual and what I really need to get myself out of this crazy thought process? Because it was, like I said, it was bad. I was devastated. So when it comes to people that you're sharing with, the biggest thing that they want to see from you is that you're getting your mind together. Even if you're still dealing with the issues, the raw emotions, the anger, the frustration, the pain, you know, the discomfort in just every area. You know how hard it is to sleep, you know, going through stuff like that, divorce. Like, it's not easy. That's one of the most stressful things a person could actually deal with. And as men, sometimes it's really hard, you know, for us. So, and I say financially might be okay, but mentally there's a lot going on there. So for the men who have been here before, the best thing that your friend or your family wants to see is to understand, like, hey, I'm in this place right now, but even though I'm in this place right now, I still see light at the end of the tunnel. I still understand that there is hope at the end of the day. I'm not completely discouraged, even though I might be pissed off as all ever. I'm not discouraged in knowing that I will get out of this. I will snap out of this thought process. My mind won't keep me here forever. That is when people are more inclined to listening to you. So understand this again. If all you're doing is complaining, and eventually it turns into complaining. Okay, I'm not going to even lie. In the beginning, fair feelings. You're justified to share those feelings, talk about those things. And in the beginning of something brand new like that, anybody will take the time to listen to you and step with you as you're going along that part. But after about 2, 3 months and you ain't said nothing new, you're still complaining about her and what she did and cheating on you and how she ain't nothing good, you know, whatever name you want to call her in the book, and you're still saying the same thing over and over and over and over, this is why people start tuning out. They turn down the volume a little bit. They kind of put the blinders on. Now they're looking forward when you're sitting right here, and they just are like, all right, well, I don't know what else to say. I said everything that in my capacity that I could say. I gave you about a good week of information, and that's talking to you every single day for 3, 4 hours at a time. So eventually they start to check out because they don't know what else to do. But as a person starts to develop and starts saying to themselves, you know what? I ain't going to stay like this forever. I'm not going to deal with this forever. Yeah, this happened to me, but you know what? You're right. And also on top of that, it's like, yo, you know what I tried? I actually took the information that you said and I applied that. I was like, man, I started journaling, started writing down some of my thoughts, and I felt like that released. That person who has been on the other end of the side, the one who's receiving your frustration, your anger, they're now going to start to be like, okay, cool, and start trying to provide more steps, more opportunities, more things that they can do to help you. Because now you're willing to listen. Now you're willing to take more advice, take heed to what they're saying. And so those doors will stay open a lot longer. But if you continue to complain and you're a year in and you're still saying the same thing, good luck. You can understand now why people are starting to tune you out, because you haven't changed. You haven't even given it a second thought on what you can do to get out of that place. This channel is meant to help people, men specifically, get out of those crazy thought processes. Learn, grow, change. That's all we're here to do. So if you're not learning from anything that we're saying here, you're not growing, meaning applying the new information that you got into your life, then you're not changing. You're just going to stay right where you're at. But this is why people will eventually tune you out, because you're not saying anything new, nor are you trying anything new. So what I would encourage you to do is, if you have a friend or a family member where it seems like that's the case, change your thought process. Say something different other than complaining. Give them some fresh hope for themselves too, that, hey, maybe there is an opportunity to help you here. Maybe he is seeing something different here. And then they will start to encourage you a little bit more over time. So I hope this information helps you. Try it out. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and we'll go from here. All right, fellas, take it easy.